So you know nothing about coding, and you want to learn Python. You have then come to the right place. We will start with the very basics of Python in this series of tutorials, assuming you have no prior experience in programming. Python is fun. In this tutorial, we will learn how to install Python and how to run it. So, first go to this website, python.org. This is the official website for Python. Go to the download section. Python is an open source and free software. You can download it from this big yellow button if you are running Windows. If you have other operating systems, look for a suitable download for your machine. This version number might get changed in future to 4 or 5, but the download process will always be similar to this. So click on download and save the installation file in a location like desktop. Once the download is complete, go to the location where you have downloaded the file and just double-click on that. Python installation will begin. Here, ensure that you selected both the checkboxes for a complete installation, and then click on Install Now. The setup process will take few minutes to complete. The installation is now complete. Let us close this. So, what next? Python can be used in two different ways. You can use the interactive Python shell from a command prompt, or you can write your code separately and execute it through Python interpreter. Let us check both of them to understand it better. First, go to the search bar. Then type cmd. You will see the command prompt displayed. Click on it to open it. What you see, this black window, is called the command prompt. Type here, Python, and hit enter. You get a response from Python with the version number of Python installed on your machine. This is a way to also verify that Python is successfully installed, because otherwise it would have thrown an error or asked you to first download Python. This is the interactive mode of Python, and these 3 angle brackets denote that Python is ready to accept your command. You can type an expression like 1 plus 2 and hit enter. Python will return the correct sum in response, number 3. Or, you can type 20 divided by 7 and hit enter to get the result in a decimal fraction with sufficient accuracy. You may wonder, why to use Python for this, because you have a calculator. Fair enough. Let us do something more interesting. Type import space datetime together and hit enter. Datetime is the name of a package in Python. We told Python, hey, we are going to use something from the datetime package, please get ready. And it is ready. Now type print to print something in the output, bracket, datetime, date, today, then bracket, close the brackets and enter. Python returned 1st March 21, which is today's date. If you run this, you will get whatever is your system date. This looks good but still not impressive. So, let us ask Python to give the date for the next Monday. Now, Python has to first check what is the day of week for today, add suitable number of days to it, and get the next Monday's date. For that, we need to enter a logical expression in a statement, and Python will execute it. Let us type it down. Print, then type down, whatever I am typing here, type the same, and hit enter. You can pause the video here and copy this exact statement. Do not worry if you do not understand this statement fully. For now, just understand that Python executed this statement and returned 8th March. Since today is a Monday, next Monday is today's date plus 7, but it won't be 7 days always. If you run this on another date, you will still get the correct result, the next Monday for your case. This way, you can execute few statements in this interactive mode, but to develop a large program, you would like to freely write the code separately in a text editor, and then throw it to Python just to execute. Let us look at that option. You can use any text editor to write your code, you do not need any other software. You can simply open a notepad and start writing your code here. Then save it and ask Python to execute it. It will work perfectly. But you can cut down the total development time of your code by using some integrated development environment or IDE. An IDE is a smart editor that helps in writing your code easily, and that internally links with Python for the code execution. There are many such IDEs. You have Idle, then you have PyCharm, Spider, and others. You can download and install any one. But when you install Python, by default it installs one such IDE called Idle. It is very good for beginners. We will use this IDE for our tutorials. It is already installed on your machine. So, go to the search bar and type Idle. Here is the IDE. Click on it to open. This may look similar to the command prompt we have seen just a while back. This is actually the output terminal, or called shell. We can use direct Python statements or expressions here, like 1 plus 2. Also, whatever program we will run in idle, it will display the output here, in this window. Go to the File menu and start a new file. You can see, idle has opened another window. We will write our code here. You will see shortly why it is better than Notepad. And the window which is behind this, is our output window or shell. This whole thing is collectively called an Integrated Development Environment, or IDE, and Python is a software that works silently behind the scene. This editor will take our code, it will then give the code to Python, and Python will execute it. This IDE works like an intermediator between our code, and the actual Python software. Let us write our first Python program. We have seen the use of print command earlier. So, let us use that and print a hello world message. Just see how the editor has prompted us with the structure of this command, with the type of operands to be used in print command. This is how a smart editor or an IDE helps us in writing our code. There are more such features which we will discover slowly. Let us get today's date from the datetime package. You have seen earlier that we had imported something called a datetime package. We have to do the same thing here. We will discuss each of these statements later in details, as we proceed with this course. This is just a preview. Now, we got the date of today, let us simply display this date, using the print command. Print, then a message within the quotation marks, comma, and today. You can see various colors used for different type of commands and names. Now, please go to the File menu and save this file somewhere in your machine. Let us save it on our desktop with just any name. By default, Python code files are saved with a .py extension, and you should not change that. Finally, execute your code from this menu, using Run module. It will internally call Python to execute your code, get the output from Python, and display the output in this window or shell. These are the outputs generated by our Python code. The first print statement in our code resulted in this hello world line in the output. Then it calculated today's date, with the help of the datetime package imported in the beginning, and then following the second print command here, Python displayed whatever we asked it to print in the output, along with the date. The word today is replaced with the actual date of today. Practice this exact code on your machine, and you will get a good hang of how to use Python, or how to do coding in general. You don't need to understand each line in the code written, just get yourself comfortable with this coding environment first. In the next class, we will learn more about the structure of a Python code, and how Python actually works. I hope you like this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.